Introduction to an alternate reality. Imagine a world where the darkest shadows of history stretched across the globe, unchecked and unopposed. This is not the world we know, but a chilling alternate reality, a timeline where the forces of tyranny triumphed and the light of freedom was extinguished. We explore a what-if scenario, a terrifying possibility that thankfully never came to pass. What if Nazi Germany had won World War II? What would our world look like under the iron fist of the Third Reich? In this depiction, the Allies faltered, allowing the forces of darkness to prevail. The path to Nazi victory. In this alternate history, pivotal events shifted the tide of the war dramatically. The D-Day invasion, the crucial turning point in our history, failed catastrophically. Allied forces were repelled, their hopes for liberation crushed on the beaches of Normandy. This single failure allowed Nazi Germany to consolidate its power in the West. With the Western Front secured, the full might of the German army turned eastward. The Soviet Union, already reeling, collapsed under relentless attack. Moscow fell, and the vast resources of the East were seized. Britain, isolated and battered by relentless bombing campaigns, was forced to negotiate peace. Its spirit was broken, its resistance ended. Meanwhile, the United States, facing a two-front war, shifted its primary focus to the Pacific theater. The war against Japan consumed American resources and attention, leaving Europe vulnerable. The U.S. was left to face a resurgent Nazi Germany alone, across a vast ocean. The balance of power had shifted. By 1946, the Reich's iron grip extended across all of Europe. From the Atlantic to the Urals, a new, terrifying empire had been forged. The swastika flew over every major capital, a symbol of absolute dominion. The dream of a 1,000-year Reich had become a horrifying reality. The Nazi world order. The consequences of this victory were devastating, reshaping the very fabric of civilization. Puppet governments were installed across conquered nations, loyal only to Berlin. Local cultures and identities were systematically suppressed. Resistance was brutally crushed. Any whisper of dissent met swift and merciless retribution. A pervasive police state reached into every corner of life. The Gestapo and SS became omnipresent, instilling constant fear. Nazi racial policies expanded exponentially. Millions more were condemned under the twisted ideology of racial purity. The Holocaust, already an unimaginable horror, extended beyond its historical scope to a continent-wide extermination program. Millions were enslaved or murdered, particularly in Eastern Europe. Entire populations were purged, their lives extinguished and their land resettled. The new Cold War, United States versus the Third Reich. Across the Atlantic, the United States faced a new and terrifying Cold War, no longer against communism, but against a fanatical Nazi empire. The conflict was now between two powerful adversaries, each with advanced technology and weapons of mass destruction. Both sides raced to develop more powerful arms. The threat of total annihilation loomed over humanity. Crucially, both the United States and Nazi Germany developed nuclear weapons. The balance of terror was established, but with a far more volatile, unpredictable enemy. Competition extended beyond Earth, into space and advanced science. A chilling image emerges: Nazi rockets, emblazoned with swastikas, vying for control of the moon. Daily life under Nazi rule. Life in Nazi-controlled Europe was a constant struggle. Children were indoctrinated from their earliest years. History was rewritten, science distorted, art censored. Praise for Hitler was mandatory, dissent unthinkable. Free speech and democracy were eradicated. Propaganda dominated every aspect of public life. Neighbors spied on neighbors. Families were torn apart by suspicion. the fear of the secret police never faded. Traditional religions were persecuted, replaced by Nazi-sanctioned beliefs. The state demanded absolute spiritual and moral allegiance. While the masses suffered, the Nazi elite lived in opulent luxury. Their palaces stood in stark contrast to the widespread misery and fear. The future and legacy of the Nazi Empire. No empire lasts forever. Eventually, even the Third Reich would fracture under its own weight. Internal corruption, power struggles, and the instability of its nuclear arsenal would slowly erode its foundation. Yet the damage inflicted on cultures, languages, and human lives would be beyond repair. Generations would bear the scars of this era. Despite the overwhelming oppression, rebellions would inevitably rise. The human spirit, though crushed, can never be fully extinguished. Hope, however faint, would persist. Conclusion: a stark reminder. Thankfully, this nightmare scenario never happened. The Allied forces, through immense sacrifice and unwavering courage, prevented this dark future from becoming our reality. Their victory saved the world. This alternate history serves as a powerful reminder of the sacrifices made to prevent this very outcome. It underscores the immense cost of freedom and the fragility of peace. We must never forget. It urges us to remember the past, to learn from its darkest chapters. History, even hypothetical history, offers invaluable lessons. We must understand what was at stake. Above all, it calls upon us to safeguard against the resurgence of such ideologies. The seeds of hatred and intolerance can always take root. We must remain vigilant, always. If you found this exploration thought-provoking, please like the video and subscribe for more alternate history and what-if scenarios. Thank you for watching.